Hey guys, it's Alex from Laser Everything, and I'm excited to welcome you to the Laser Maker Con and our presentation here. We've got a lot to cover today, so we're going to jump right into it. Today you're going to learn all about maximizing your small business potential with tentpole calendar events. We're going to cover this topic in two sections. In section 1, I'll be teaching you exactly what tentpole events are and how to best utilize them to make a profit. In section 2, Matt and I will build a tentpole event calendar together, which you can download at the end of our presentation. Don't go anywhere because we're getting started right now. In the dynamic world of small business, staying relevant and engaging your audience is a constant challenge. One effective strategy to boost your business is leveraging tentpole calendar events. These are recurring, high-profile events such as holidays, sports championships, and cultural celebrations that draw significant public attention. When used strategically, these events can help you attract new customers, retain existing ones, and boost your sales. Here's how you can effectively use tentpole calendar events to bolster your small business. The first step to leveraging tentpole events is to plan ahead. Create a calendar that includes all major events relevant to your business and industry. This calendar should include national holidays like Christmas and Independence Day, cultural celebrations like Halloween and Valentine's Day, and industry-specific events like Black Friday or Cyber Monday. Planning ahead allows you to prepare marketing materials, stock up on inventory, and design special promotions well in advance. Once you have your calendar in place, tailor your promotions to align with each event. For example, if you run a bakery, you can offer special themed cakes for Valentine's Day or Christmas. If you own a fitness studio, you could create a New Year's resolution package to attract customers looking to start their fitness journey. The key is to make your promotions relevant and appealing to your target audience. Content marketing plays a crucial role in engaging your audience during tentpole events. Create blog posts, social media updates, and email newsletters that are themed around the event. Share tips, how-to guides, and interesting facts related to the event and your business. For instance, if you sell home decor, you could create a blog post on top 10 Christmas decoration ideas and link it to your products in your store. Engaging content not only attracts potential customers, but also positions your business as a go-to resource. Social media is a powerful tool for capitalizing on tentpole events. Use platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to share your promotions, run contests, and engage with your audience. Create event-specific hashtags to increase visibility and encourage your customers to share their experiences. For example, a clothing store would launch a best Halloween costume contest on Instagram, encouraging followers to post photos of their costumes using a branded hashtag. Influencer marketing can amplify your reach during tentpole events. Partner with influencers who resonate with your target audience to promote your special offers and events. Influencers can create authentic content that highlights your products or services, providing social proof and driving more traffic to your business. Ensuring that the influencers you choose have a genuine connection with your brand and event theme is critical. Tentpole events are the perfect time to offer exclusive deals and discounts. Create limited time offers that create a sense of urgency and encourage immediate action. For example, you could offer a 20% off sale for Black Friday or a buy one get one free deal on Valentine's Day. Exclusive deals not only attract new customers, but also incentivize repeat purchases from existing customers. Hosting special events can create buzz and draw customers to your business. Organize themed in-store events, online webinars, or live streaming sessions like this one that align with the tentpole event. For instance, a bookstore could host a Halloween-themed reading night, while a tech store could stream a live demo of new products on Black Friday. Special events provide a unique experience for your customers and can significantly boost engagement and sales. After each tentpole event, measure the success of your efforts. Analyze sales data, website traffic, social media engagement, and customer feedback to understand what worked and what didn't. Use these insights to refine your strategies for future events. Continuous improvement is key to maximizing the benefits of tentpole calendar events for your small business. Tentpole calendar events offer a golden opportunity for small businesses to engage their audience, boost sales, and enhance brand visibility. By planning ahead, tailoring your promotion promotions, creating compelling content, leveraging social media, collaborating with influencers, offering exclusive deals, hosting special events, and analyzing your results, you can effectively use these events to propel your business forward. Embrace the power of tentpole events and watch your small business thrive. Now, I know we covered a lot there, and we were talking about things in a very kind of vague and generic way, but now we're going to go ahead and dive into what you can specifically do in the laser marking industry, and we're going to plan around our tentpole events and try to build a basis for what you can go off of to customize things for your business. Hey guys, welcome to part 2, where we're going to be taking a look at a spreadsheet that we built and developed to help you break all this down in terms that apply to you. Matt's really excited about this part. He spent a lot of time helping me put it together, so thanks, Matt, for taking some time to join me with this.
Yeah, no problem, man. This is a super great tool to get people going, especially if you're new to laser engraving or you're trying to figure out how am I going to pay off my machine and build my business. So I think it's really worthwhile to understand this and the necessity that it is for anybody who's trying to get into the laser engraving game.
The first page can be a little bit dizzying. Do you want to give us just a little bit of a tour real quick?
Yeah, so basically what we've got is a multi-page document that we came up with. It's basically broken down, color-coded by quarters. And what we did is we actually started with quarter 1, which is January, February, and March. And then it goes on down the line for every 3 months afterwards. And what we started to do was think about, okay, what are the events that everybody is going to have and need to be focused on? So the first column is the events, and then that's followed by the dates of the event. What you'll notice up here is really important. So this is really what's great about this calendar. And this is something that I figured out as I've gone. This is my 5th year in business. This is really important to me. Alex and I started thinking about how long do you really need to generate ideas, actually do all of the ordering, prototyping, advertising, prep, and then when do you cut off orders, to make sure that you can actually have fulfillment. We've got all of the dates here. Just because it's a quarter 1 event doesn't mean you should think about it in quarter 1. You should actually be brainstorming about it 6 months ahead of time. We made a 6-month window for you guys to understand the process that you need to follow in order to try to be the most successful with the products that not only you generate, but also create, ship, find, source, and everything else in between.
You're going to see this, I'm going to say this once now, but this is going to apply over and over and over again while we're taking a look at all of the different tools built into this spreadsheet. This is not meant to be a hard set thing. Everything here is very, very flexible. You'll see, for example, Passover varies annually in April. A lot of the dates that we're recommending after that are also really flexible, and some can be even kind of vague, like the brainstorming section of this is supposed to start for Passover in early October, right? We don't give a specific date on that, but as long as you are sticking to more or less the noted time in the top category there, I think you can see it right here. So brainstorming 6 months to generate 10 ideas for revenue. As long as you're close to 6 months, it's okay. We're just trying to get you in the ballpark so you're thinking about things in the right time frame.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing to make sure that you don't have to do all of these things. You really should only focus on maybe 1 or 2 per quarter for your first year in business. And then that'll give you a lot of time also to experiment and develop new ideas and be creative with your machine and learn the ins and out of it as well. At the time you guys are watching this after it's being filmed, you're probably thinking about what can I start with school starting soon? And that's absolutely the right idea to have. But to really think about this going forward and using this process to give yourself time to develop things, you really should almost be thinking about what's going on at Christmas time. Looking at quarter 4, you need to understand sourcing and shipping. For you to really turn maximum profit and build your business, you really need to start thinking about the events that are going to be happening 4 to 6 months from now and thinking about how do I find those different items and get them in a way that is actually going to be the most useful for me. And that's going to be buying wholesale. Alibaba, Temu, all of those kind of places come to mind. And in doing so, and actually taking the time to create those pathways to products, you're going to give yourself maximum profit versus if you went and bought these from someone who deals in 1s and 2s. So that's something to really think about. Also, when you buy from Temu, when you buy from Alibaba or AliExpress, a lot of times there's going to be shipping involved. So that's going to be way more than you're looking at Amazon. Most of the time you're paying more for Amazon because it's 2 to 4 days. When you're looking at this, it's more like 2 to 4 weeks. And so considering that, you're getting a huge bulk wholesale order, and also you need to have time for that to get there and be processed.
Yeah, and one thing that I would consider too, guys, and Matt touched on this a little bit, is that if you start now, let's say it's August when you're watching this, if you start now in August and you're scrambling to get things out for autumn, this system that we're covering today is not going to work for you. It's really meant to be planning for things in advance so that you have a comfortable amount of time to get through all of the steps that we're going to outline today. Q4, for you guys watching right now, you're going to be starting a little bit late. I say that's okay because it's your first year, nobody wants to miss Q4, but don't lose sight of the long-term goals and the long-term preparation you're trying to establish here for the convenience of starting on a holiday or tentpole that is right around the corner. Don't try to meet those now. Let that go and move on to the next quarter so that you're starting ahead and you'll stay ahead as you work through this worksheet. If you're starting to look at this worksheet now and you're trying to plan for something that's a month or two away, you're going to be scrambling to hit those. And then by the time you're ready to start looking at Q4 stuff, you're going to be behind for that and you'll be scrambling to hit that. Set yourself up to start comfortably and work your way through them the way that it's intended, and you're going to have a much better time in the long term, and you're going to be able to do better work.
Yeah, absolutely. And so one of the things that as an educator, the profession is to begin with the end in mind. And that's what Alex is making sure that he's hitting home for you guys. We can absolutely get things done from now until next month, but in order to really find success, you need to have SMART goals. And SMART's an acronym, and basically it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. And so specific would be for the events that we have planned. So we have these specific events that are listed. Measurable would be what quantity of materials do I need? How much is it going to cost? Thinking about time, all the different measurements that you need to be considering. Is it attainable? So is this something with your resources and skills that you can actually do? It would be great to have 100 Stanleys here, but that's going to cost me $6,000 and I don't have that laying around right now. So is it realistic? Going back to this, is this something that you can actually plan and develop and get photographed and put onto the internet and everything done? And that also follows into the last part, which is time sensitive. All of the things you do to be successful really do depend on time sensitivity, because you have to hit the market right. You have to get your materials on time, shipping, all of these things that are outside of your control. When you have extra time because you planned ahead, you'll be able to find success. And so a lot of people who get overwhelmed and basically give up on laser engraving, I feel like if they would have had those kinds of things ahead of time, that knowledge of SMART goals, they might have found success a little bit easier. Looking back at what we're actually sharing with you guys, that would be the prototype stage. I've fallen into this trap, and it even happened to me this year. A friend of mine who I've known since high school was like, hey, can you make this one thing for Mother's Day? And it was about 2 weeks away from Mother's Day. And of course, being a nice person who also doesn't mind making, that customer always pays really well. I was like, yeah, sure, I can absolutely do this. What I didn't do was think about how long it was going to take to prototype it. I didn't think about how long it was going to be to create the file and also to get good photographs for it, because if she wants it, then other people probably want it too. We always suggest 3 months to test, rebuild, and photograph in your prototyping stage, because it's really important. I didn't realize that the material I was using had a kerf that was different than the material I normally use. And so I had to redo and reapproximate and rebuild, use a different type of glue because it didn't have the same type of surface adhesion. And then on top of that, I didn't even have time to photograph it because she needed it by a certain time. So even I fall into those traps. With prototyping, it gives you 4 weeks. You've already gotten all of your stuff sourced. You've had it shipped to you. You've got 3 to 4 weeks to build, rebuild, photograph, test all the different materials, and finally get ready for the next window, which is the advertising window. I am going to talk about this in just a minute, how I advertise, but Alex has actually used Google ads and Facebook ads, and he's way more of an expert about it, so I'm going to let him take that away.
Yeah, I mean, the basic rule of thumb, guys, and this is not a lesson on advertising. The basic rule of thumb is I split my advertising budget into thirds on Google ads. I don't advertise on social media at all, and this has been really successful for me. 1/3 of that budget is a local market target. So you'll tell Google ads, target people in my city. And then a second third of that budget is going to be a state target. So target people in your state. And then the third is nationwide. So you'll target people in your country. That distribution, I don't have any reason or rhyme for why this works particularly well. I'm not a marketing guy, but I have seen really good success with this. And everybody that I've recommended this strategy to seems to do fairly well with it as well, at the least. So that would be one thing to consider. Definitely sign up for a Google Ads account. I've seen much better returns than I have on things like Facebook ads, though that works for some people. And this is one of those things where it's going to be different for every single person. 8 weeks to get those up is not as much time as it sounds like, especially because a lot of advertising services, it takes time for those ads to work their way into the algorithm and get recognized and get served. It's not always the instant you flip the switch and start paying that you start seeing returns on those ads. So you want to be ready with your prototypes that you have photos of at 8 weeks to start getting those advertisements out and start trying to get the attention of those marketing algorithms, because every day is really going to count, especially when you're so close to the event now that you've been doing all this preparation for.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing to consider too is I will build a few items and I try really hard to get those into the hands of people who I know who are also kind of decent photographers, giving people who go to the beach some insulated tumblers. They really have done a great job for me in getting some great shots while they're at their lake house, out on the beach, in their boat, driving around, having picnics. I mean, there's so many ways that you can have friends and family help you just by giving you great photographs. Just having those prototypes or being willing to make sure you get those ahead of time is a great idea to give yourself time to post it. Taking a look at this next window in our sheet is the prep window, and basically 6 weeks to complete the majority of your orders. And again, that's from the actual event date. So if we're looking at this, you're a month and a half away from the event date. About 4 weeks is when you should be either receiving, completing, or working on wrapping up the majority of your orders. And we basically went through and we gave you guys a rough estimate. Again, you can decide to work as far into this as you want. So for example, when you look at the prep time, especially in Q4 for Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, those huge major cultural events, we actually built in a couple of weeks here. So it doesn't actually follow the normal window. And we actually gave ourselves a little more time there because that's probably where we're going to be inundated with more orders. Being smart, knowing when to have some flexibility, that's where you are the expert in your field and you know what you're doing.
We're providing very, very general targets that you can use as goals. They're not hard dates. You're not destined to fail if you don't start taking orders for Christmas on October 1st. You're just not. It's a good, big, general catch-all for people. We designed this sheet to be changed.
Right.
We want you to edit these dates, and we'll show you how you can use those dates. This is just the first page, guys. We've got a couple of pages to go through here.
Right.
We're going to show you how you're going to use those dates down the line, but we do expect you to change these dates to dates that work best for you. These are just guides. We're just trying to guide you to the right spots on the calendar.
Yeah, because this is a tool for you, and just like any other tool in your shop, you're going to modify it to be the most successful with it that you can be. The last thing to consider would be your order cutoff time, and you should absolutely have some malleability there. You want to be able to flex this the way that makes you feel comfortable. But usually the reason that a 2-week cutoff is there to ensure fulfillment. You'll notice that word fulfillment. It won't take you 2 weeks to make a cup. What does take you 2 weeks and is out of your control is when you're looking at this time period in Q4, you're going to encounter things that are beyond your control. Something gets delivered to the customer and on your end, it looks great. A day later, you get an email that says, my order says delivered, but I don't have it. And the birthday is this weekend. What's going to happen? That gives you the opportunity to replace that item, to contact USPS. It gives you a chance to talk with the customer because maybe they just want a refund, but it gives you the time you need and the flexibility that you need.
A big part of it too is for your mental sanity, right? Like if you're taking orders 2 days before Christmas, you might make a little extra money, sure, but it's going to be a nightmare. You're going to be unhappy doing it. I mean, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I would say most people would probably not be thrilled to be trying to get Christmas orders out on December 23rd. So part of it is, yes, if you take an order 2 days before Christmas, that customer, when they have an issue, you won't have the same avenues to deal with that issue as you would for a customer who placed their order 2 weeks before. It's a great point. The other thing is, like, are you comfortable taking orders 2 days before Christmas?
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Do you want to do that? Because if you don't, I mean, this is something I know you've struggled with in the past, Matt, where you've had to be like, I'm stopping orders on this date and I'm done. And it's really hard to be done when people are waving cash in your face.
Yep. And that's the other thing too, is this is year 5 for me and I still struggle with that. But I can say this was the year. And by the way, it's because I started using these tools. This is the first year I was able to confidently say no and then have reasons why. Like if they questioned, well, why won't you make it? It doesn't take that long. You're not wrong. It doesn't take long, but it's also something where I'm done. I've hit my goal. I'm out and my workshop is done. I'm going to spend time with family. And just having the confidence to say that comes from the fact that I've had a good profitable year and using this tentpole idea.
And we're not telling you to go sunbathe either. I mean, if you think about it, if you're following this, if you're doing what's on this spreadsheet, you've got quarter 1 stuff coming up. I know everybody likes to think that quarter 1 is super slow and you don't have anything to do. That's a manufactured idea, guys. This list is full of great opportunities to make some money on holidays and events that people love to spend money on. They love to spend money on it. So there's a lot here, not just to make sure that you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, but it will keep you busy all year long. You're not off the hook when Christmas is over. This quarter 1 section is loaded with stuff coming up that you're going to have to start working on in order to stay ahead of the game and not start falling behind.
And you'll notice too, to verify what Alex is saying visually, you can look down at the sheet and you'll notice there is some baked in time. For me, Lunar New Year really isn't a huge holiday, but I will say Super Bowl, I've made some pretty good profits. And looking at Valentine's Day, knowing when that window is to start talking about that and addressing it and putting it onto socials back here. Because if you look, I should be putting this out advertising window almost at Christmas time. It never stops.
I mean, even if people have no intention of buying a Valentine's Day present on December 15th, if that's the first day they see your ad and then they see it 12 more times before Valentine's Day, 2 weeks before Valentine's Day, they see it for the 13th time, and they're going to have been exposed to that well before anybody else has been putting out advertising for that. So even if it seems a little ridiculous at the time, what we're really going for is that repeated customer hit, right? We're trying to get those same eyes over and over again. That way, when the event really does get closer, they're not seeing your advertisement for the first time a week before the holiday. You know, so there's definitely a reason to the madness,
right? And so again, if you're wondering, like, wait a minute, they're telling me to start advertising on 12/14. Nope, we're saying by 12/14, you should know that in the next 8 weeks that it's happening, and that you should start to consider when you're going to start posting, how, what socials. Maybe this is when you start filming. So now that you've finished up wrapping up your orders for Christmas and you've had a little bit of time, you can take some really good pictures, some high quality photos. Think about using Adobe Express to start creating those individual things you're going to post on Instagram and TikTok, and then actually getting pricing, right? So all that
if you're following this sheet, November before Christmas, you are taking pictures of little jigsaw puzzle hearts that you made as prototypes in preparation for Valentine's Day in November, right? So it's always moving. You're always churning. You're always doing something for some part of the year. And you have to be mindful of that. And we've come up with a few ways to help you organize that, but we'll talk about that at the end.
And then the one last thing I want to show you guys, for example, is this is just the majority of the major events throughout the year in the United States that are celebrated, but some of these are global. We left these 3 spaces in every quarter specifically for your cultural or regional events. And so specifically for me, I'm from Plant City, Florida, and we have the Strawberry Festival, which is huge. We had 250,000 people come through our town that's a farming town. And so when you have 250,000 people come through, they love getting stuff that says, oh, I was a part of it, I was there. And so for us, that happens in March. And so I would come in here and I would put Strawberry Festival. And the Strawberry Festival usually happens right around the end of February. So I'm going to put February 28th through March 13th. So it's usually 2 weeks. So doing the math on that really quickly, we're going to start at the earliest one, right? So 228, if we add 6 to that, would be 828. So I should really be thinking about this and starting to brainstorm my ideas right around the end of August. That means 2 months later, which would be 1028, I should have items ordered. So for example, this year I got some really cute charms for bracelets and stuff, and I needed to get those through Alibaba. Prototyping, it did take me about a month. So we're going to hit 1128. So by 1128, people are already starting to think about this because we're the winter strawberry capital of the world. world, people start posting about stuff all the way back almost at Christmas time, because one of the things that in our town, it's a huge market, believe it or not. So people start posting about like, can't wait for Strawberry Festival. Moving ahead about 4 weeks, we get to Christmas time. And Christmas time is when we hear about strawberries all the time in our area and in our region, which is Tampa. It's all over the news and media. And so people are already thinking about it. We add 2 more weeks to this, which would be about January 14th. So I'm just going to put 114. But by then I should have received all of my orders, because again, February 28th is really close. And this is giving me the time that I need to put things together, to get anything that's shipped. A lot of people are coming from out of state, but they want to pick this up. So the last thing is making sure that I have 2-week cutoff. And so if I look at this, 214 puts me exactly 2 weeks before February 28th. That's when I should be wrapping up and or doing maybe just local, right? So things where I've delivered them to my shops, and then maybe doing the onesie twosies for people who are coming in at the last minute. As quick as that, we were able to figure out what was my event, when were the dates of the event, and from that figure 6 months lead time, the ideas for the product, the ordering, when I should be prototyping and advertising, prepping, and then finishing it up.
Yeah, and you can use these extra lines for any kind of event, guys. It doesn't necessarily have to be a holiday. Like in Rochester, we have Canal Days every year. It's June 5th and 6th, or I guess it's just the first weekend in June each year. And so I can do exactly what Matt just did. I can plan on that fair coming into town every single year, and I'll know exactly what dates I need to plan around in order to get those things done. Matt's going to go ahead and just fill this out really quick to show off a little bit. One thing that I did want to mention, there's a lot of things going on in our city this year. Another example is the Lilac Festival. We have lilacs here in New York. Matt's got strawberries, and it's every single year. If you have like a bunch of events and a bunch of festivals, this whole document is actually expandable. So we've made it really easy for you to add rows if the few that we gave you just aren't enough. If you've got a lot of stuff going on locally that you need to keep track of, or your community celebrates a lot of holidays that we're not mentioning on this sheet, it's very easy to do. All you have to do is right click the bottom row and then just add a new row. You can add it below, above, it doesn't matter, it works every time. And it will add the row, it adds the alternating colors, and it will continue to track and work across all of the different sheets that we have. So we wanted to make sure that it was expandable for you as well.
And one more thing that you can do too, like if you wanted to get more specific with your process, because maybe you want to add from 8 to 6 weeks, maybe you want to have a specific breakdown, you can even add columns. And so you can modify it that way as well. So this is a really nice framework for you to take and make your own.
Yeah. So there are a few other sheets on this, guys, that are here to help you guys kind of navigate your way through these different dates. The first one that we're going to be taking a look at is labeled brainstorming. You can see right at the bottom of the sheet here. And this is basically an expansion on that brainstorming column on the first page. And so here again, by quarter, you can see all of the different holidays and different tentpole events listed by quarter with their approximate dates. But now, instead of working through the entire process, we're just focused on that brainstorming session. So this is a little bit of a worksheet for you to help you get those ideas out of your head and on paper somewhere where you are already keeping track of the rest of this stuff. You can see there are a lot of ideas. There's ideas number 1 through 10. You don't need 10 ideas, but Matt and I are challenging you with this worksheet to come up with 10, even if 5 of them are horrible ideas that you'll never do, even if they're unattainable, even if they're not something you do now, but in a future year, just get your ideas out. That's what a brainstorm is, right? Anything that comes to mind. So try to do 10, do your best to do 10, and then you're going to take the best 3 and we're going to take those over to final item ideas. So this is a very similar setup, but we're getting a lot more specific here. And these are things that are actionable. These are things we can do now, this year, for this upcoming tentpole. That's included a few different price ranges. Do you want to talk about why 3 ideas and why 3 price ranges and how that is also flexible?
Yeah, our final item idea is basically to come over here. So we carry it all the way across. When you walk into a space, a lot of times you're not looking to spend a ton of money. Something grabbed your attention that brought you in. And maybe the item that they came in to look at was that custom piece, which was my custom jewelry. Then they see the price and it's just really not something they're comfortable spending. But they walk by and see some of my sterling silver jewelry, which is still pretty nice. And it's $10 to $20 range. Okay, cool. We grabbed them. Or if even then they're just still not sure, the $5 to $10 range, which could just be that stainless steel jewelry, might be something that they were really okay to deal with. Like, I can buy that. That's something I can quickly grab and walk away. They don't feel bad about. Be mindful that it's really a smart idea to have a range, what they're willing or accepting to spend. You could do something well above the $20 range. We could be talking $100, $200, and that's fine. Again, this is something where if you wanted to, you could very easily come in here and we can insert a column to the right. Basically, we can go all the way up to wherever you guys want. Because again, this is just a tool and an idea for you to build. But the other thing that's really nice about this is you can look ahead and kind of see what you need to get. So again, going back to that sourcing and finding things. So having these ideas mapped out ahead of time for the year. And so that's the kind of way we can build business by using these planning tools.
Once you get your brainstorming ideas, your 10 creative brainstorming ideas, and your 3 solid item ideas, if you're sticking to the framework, down onto paper, things are going to start getting really cluttered and kind of difficult to manage. It'll be a little harder to remember what you've done and what you haven't done. And that's where the 4th page of our sheet comes in. So you'll see the 4th tab at the bottom. It's called Progress Checklist. Again, all of the major events sorted by quarter with the relative dates. And we've got just simple validation checkboxes all the way across for everything that you need to do to get ready. So you've got think for your brainstorming, choosing your 3 solid ideas, ordering, remember shipping times, prototyping, it's time to get to work, get those things actually made in your shop, and then of course, ads. Let's actually get selling these things. Woohoo. And you can track your progress because again, every month of the year, you're going to be in different stages as far as other upcoming tentpoles, right? You're going to be doing brainstorming for one, and then for a few months down the road, you're going to be doing ordering for another, and you're going to be doing ads for another. So you're going to be doing like 3 or 4 different major holidays. You're going to be doing pieces of that at any one given time. Right. And that can be really difficult to track. So being able to just put a little check mark down, mark things off as you're actually accomplishing them, not only feels really good because it does, but it's going to help you stay organized when you're literally all over the calendar all year long. Now that you've got the checklist under your belt, guys, we have one final tool for you. I know I work best with like whiteboard calendars, right? I scribble notes about things that I've done or upcoming events, things that I'm going to forget. Surely I'm going to forget. So I like to just kind of jot that stuff down. And I personally threw this in because I thought this would be really helpful for me if I was trying to follow this to a T for the first time, and that is an actual editable 12-month calendar. We built this by hand for you guys. It's got Sunday through Saturday, and you can edit each individual day. So if I want to make Wednesday the 8th of January, I can do that. You just hit 8 and it's the 8th now, and you've got a huge box down here. So nice. If you did something like ordered 50 stainless necklaces for Valentine's Day, right? You've got that note in there now and you can reference it later. If you want to actually denote a certain holiday, like let's say Tuesday is the 1st, we can say New Year's Day. So you can use this however you want. You can put hyperlinks in here if you need to link to websites with different resources or, you know, a retailer that wants to carry your stuff, phone numbers. It's designed to be super duper open and easy to just toss words into, links, phone numbers, whatever, so that as you're going through your calendar, right, when we move from January to like April and we've come to April 4 months later, all of our notes on things that we've been accomplishing for April are now right here in front of our face instead of lost in a spreadsheet somewhere. I think this is going to be super duper useful for you guys, and I would really encourage you to use it, especially if this is your first time going through a process like this, because it's going to keep things that are vital for you to know in April in front of you in April when you need them, and not 6 months before when you brainstormed those good ideas, or 8 weeks before when you started advertising. Now you're here in April. You can see when you started your ads, where you ordered from, when the major tentpole events are. All of those things will kind of be like on one sheet right in front of you. And I think that is going to be insanely useful for you. Did you have any comments on the calendar, Matt?
Yeah, and I was going to say, for me, I'm somebody who I'm not really good with abstract when it comes to planning. thing, time is completely abstract and I need to make it quantifiable and concrete. So for me as a learner, I need, like he said, something that I can print out and put into a 3-ring binder. And then as I go, like, it's really cool to have the hyperlinks on the computer, but then I actually can look physically and I can put a note on the printed one of these that says link on computer and stuff like that. So I'm someone who actually has a binder. And so the neat thing is all of these can be exported as PDFs and printed and put somewhere that we can grab. But then it's also interactive when you come back to it digitally, which we need to be for the modern age. It's something that's a tool that can be used either way. So if you're someone who likes tactile and touching and using, there's that. If you're somebody who likes to use digital, there's that as well. So it's a really cool idea to have all of this in one space. And hopefully you guys find as much success with it as we have.
Yeah, this actually, it's completely scalable and printable. So you can scale this to any size for any format paper and print it out. It's super duper easy to use with just like the Windows or Mac print manager. So that's a great point. Yeah, absolutely. You can do that. And that is the tool we developed, guys. I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough of it. I hope you got some value out of it. We've been working on this for quite some time now, and it's something we've discussed making for, I think, literally years at this point.
Yeah,
so I'm really glad that this is the opportunity we took to kind of unveil it and share it with you guys. Yeah, if you have any questions, I mean, of course, you can reach out to us. We have a free Discord and Facebook group. It costs absolutely nothing to join. Both jam-packed with people from all over the community, all walks of life that are either just getting into this or have been doing it forever, and they love helping people. We've been blessed with such a great community at Laser Everything. If you need more help, if you're looking for a little more, something closer to like one-on-one attention, we do have the Laser Master Academy available to you as well. You can learn more about that over at masters.lasereverything.net. It funds and supports us in creating tools just like this and so many more that we've been putting out lately, like our settings libraries, our community-driven settings and projects databases. We have our material safety data sheet, lookup tables. Yeah, so much stuff. Manuals for just about every kind of laser and spec sheets and so much more, guys. So you can find out all about all of that kind of stuff over at lasereverything.net.
If you're someone who's looking to build your business also, we do one-on-one coaching consultations as well. There's so many ways that we can help you, and we really look forward to seeing what you guys come up with and how you do this year. Best of luck.
That's on lasereverything.net as well under the training link, guys, if you'd like more information about that. Thanks so much for coming to this event. If you're here for Laser MakerCon, and if you're watching this after the fact on our YouTube channel, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe. We come out with new videos all the time, lots of new tools like this, and we'd love to have you around again. But I think that's all I've got, guys. Enjoy tentpole hunting. Good luck setting up for the upcoming year, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Your guns.